Welcome back to RADBMX Builds. Unboxing, delivery day from Craig Turner at GT. Let's open it up and see what we got. I'm always excited because I don't know what he's sending me all the time. I have an idea, but I'm not 100% on what's in here. Could be one, could be two different bikes. Let's take a look. Let's open it up and see. Two bikes. I'm excited about this because you are witnessing right now something that's coming out that you can get that's going to be an amazing opportunity. Check this out. Okay, what you're looking at right here are two GT RADBMX Collab bikes. They are both freestyle frames, but yet they are not the same. And I'm going to show you what's different about them. Okay, it's been 2 days since that last clip and a lot of things have happened. On a personal note, Sundays is unplugged days here and I'm completely off my phone. No movies, no screens of any type. You should try it. It's actually a lot of fun. Takes you back to when you were a kid and you didn't have all those devices or vices and you get a little creative. And well, in my time, I got a little creative. The bikes that I just unboxed, one of them is already gone and this one getting ready to go. Where did it go? We'll talk about that in a minute. But the first thing I want to talk about is this frame right here because it's probably the most special frame that you could get, the most exclusive, a part of history, if you will. Let me tell you why. Okay, this bike is absolutely rad. Check out that baloney cut that says GT and check out the stamped serial number right there that says RADBMX Evo. Why does it say Evo? Right here says GT Evolution. What does all that mean? Why does it say those things? Well, let me tell you. If you've been watching for a while or following along, you know that myself and GT are doing a documentary. And it's about the evolution of the GT Performer, where it started from. I mean, where it started from at zero. I'm going to drop a little clue. Did you know before the Performer became a freestyle bike, it was based off of the GT Mach 1? That's right. We're going to talk about things like that in the documentary to include interviews with the people that made the Performer possible. Eddie Fiola, Martin Aparicio, and no other than Gary Turner. All of these guys are going to be interviewed in this documentary. How am I making a documentary? Well, that's where the frame comes in. If you go to GT1972.com and you buy one of these exclusive GT Evolution frame sets, hand-built out of chrome moly, right here in the USA by no other than Craig Turner, the son of Gary Turner. These are going to help fund the documentary. You're gonna be given not just the frame and fork, merch, all kinds of stuff. You're just gonna have to wait or go over to gt1972.com and take a look. Everything that's going to be included with your frame set. You're gonna become part of history. You're gonna help fund a documentary like no other that's never been done on GT before, where we tell the story from the people that lived it. All right, let's get an up close look at this frame. If you look back here at the dropouts, much thicker dropouts. The drilled holes, just like the old days. The baloney cut, but that's not a stamp. That's laser cut and welded in there, a much deeper baloney cut. This one is in old school configuration, so it'll take a 22.2 seat post, a 25.4 seat post clamp, and an American bottom bracket. You have this plate welded on that says GT Evolution to signify that this is one of the Evolution frame sets. This does not have the S bend. It just has the down turn and then straight to bottom bracket bar. Threaded forks up front for a 1-inch threaded quill. And then the forks come down to the drilled hole style dropouts for the forks. What does this look like? It looks like one of the early Performer models, just like the one Eddie Fiola rode. Back in the day, if you take a quick look at that yellow bike, it's exactly the same style as what he rode back then. Very similar to the World Tour that I have right there. This bike right here is going to get the full treatment. I'm going to do a very special build on this bike. How would you build it? Well, I just gave you a huge hint back in that corner. That's right, I'm gonna do a tribute to Eddie Fiola's Flying Banana all yellow Performer. I've always wanted to build that bike. You don't see a lot of those. You see a lot of the yellow ones with the white wheels and the blue parts, but I'm doing the banana, all yellow. And in my research, he had gold components, black tires, yellow skyways, yellow everything, and that's what I want to mimic. I'm not doing an exact replication of that bike. I'm doing a tribute build using this bike. I'm bringing it back to where it started, the evolution of this bike, all the way through its paces that'll be talked about in the documentary, where it went from a race bike to prototype after prototype, eventually landing on the Performer. And then the evolution of the Performer to the Pro Performer and how it got that name, up to the PFT, the Pro Freestyle Tour coin roll bike. And that's probably where we'll end that documentary, because after that evolution, GT changed hands, things just changed, things got weird, but the process to get it there is quite the story. Okay, I've been rocking this shirt since the Tulsa BMX Hall of Fame event, and people have been asking me, where do I get this shirt? Craig will be selling them at gt1972.com. If you want a hat or any of my shirts, hoodies, because it's that time of year, you can get those at radbmxbuilds.com. These shirts are pretty cool. They have the Evolution Performer on the back, and they have the collab names on the front. If you want to get one of those, they should be on his website by the time you see this video. If not, just keep checking, because they are coming. It takes a lot on the back end to do these types of things, to do collaborations, to make frames, to do merch, to get all the logistics handled, like shipping and packaging, to get them to you and still keep them at a semi-affordable price. We're not here to become millionaires on merch and frames. We're just trying to get things out to you so you can build them and have that nostalgic connection to the raddest times of our lives, the 80s. These are not 80s bikes. These are brand new, hand-built, retro bikes. Please don't get it twisted. We're not selling them as OG. We're not selling them as 80s. We're just trying to give you an opportunity to buy these frames and not spend thousands of dollars on them and have a risk of getting scammed out of your money from some dork on a social media page. These are the legit, real deal. Go check them out. Let's talk about the bike. All right, I do my best. I read your comments. I reply to most, but I've been getting the same one pretty often. You sure have a lot of GTs in your collection. I don't think you build anything else. Well, I have a whole row down here of other bikes and down here. Why do you think I build a lot of GTs? It's my connection to GT. It's my friendship with the Turner family. They're a great bike to build. I enjoy the quality, both old and new. So be it. It's my collection, my bike builds, my collaboration. So you're gonna see a lot of GT. You're also gonna see other bikes. So just be patient. If I'm on a GT kick because, well, I have a new frame, you're gonna see some GT content. But don't worry, there'll always be more. I have a Cook Brothers on the table. I have Dyno, Mongoose, CW, Torker, SE, Hutch. I have a lot of bikes. Just because you see the GTs right now doesn't mean that's all I'll ever do. But right now, we're doing GTs because that's what I have on the table. Yeah, I know, I was supposed to tell you, where are the bikes? Where'd they go? Because I did ship one off. Remember I showed you one that was a freestyle frame and the GT was upside down? Why is that? A lot of people think it was a mistake. I assure you it's not. If you know, you know. Sometimes, back in the day, these logos right here would get welded on upside down back at GT because they had jigs after jigs with frame sets. And they would flip them, turn them, weld them, hand them to the next guy, flip them, drink a beer, hand them down to the next guy. And every now and then, one made it through with an upside down GT. That's a fact. Look it up. They exist. They're unicorns. So when Craig went to make my frame, I requested, put that GT upside down because I think it's cool. I think it's rare. And some of you are going to talk like, oh, Craig doesn't know what he's doing. He welded that upside down. Oh, I asked for that. It's on purpose, and I think it's super cool. That frame right now is off to my good buddy Kurt at Mark Motors Powder Coating to get powder coated. So I've already dropped that bike off. I'm not gonna reveal the color. You already know the color that this one's going to be. But why didn't I drop this one off? Because this one's gonna go off to our friends at Orlando Powder Coating to get the right exact yellow used by GT. So there's a lot of coordination, and thank you at Orlando Powder Coating for being a sponsor and doing this because this is a part of history. This bike will be an advertisement piece for the documentary, and it's cool to have you on board. If you want to be a legitimate sponsor for this documentary, email me. That's probably the best way to do it. Or Craig Turner. Email either one of us if you're interested in being a sponsor. And I don't mean like, hey man, I'm going to give you $10. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for real sponsors. Documentaries aren't cheap. There's travel. And I'm not begging for you to be a sponsor, but if you're interested, if you're a company and you want to get on board and be part of this, email myself or Craig Turner. And we're going to talk to you about what that means and what it takes and what that gets you in return if you're interested. Okay, enough about that. I got more bikes. Like I said, I have this 1980 Cook Brothers bike that I'm going to be selling. Working on this bike. It's all about getting the right parts and the colors. So that's going to be a work in progress. That 26-inch Johnny True Torch CW is going off to its new owner. And what I want to talk about is that is one of the GT RADBMX Collab race frames. And the GT RADBMX Collab freestyle frame is off at Mark Motors Powder Coating. That world tour, even though it's flooded with old school GT parts, is one of the Craig Turner builds, as is the Bubblegum Pink. These are retro bikes, but I have a blend of old school parts and new school parts. And that's how I like to build them. So that is just the way that it is, and that's the way it's going to be. This is also a Craig Turner build, and it is a Tommy Bracken's tribute build, and it is stamped RADBMX as well. And then the lavender build, it is different. If you look at the forks, and you look at the top tube, how it exits, that is different, but it's still a Craig Turner build. So those are all new retro bikes. I missed one. And then we have my white one down here. This was the prototype GT RADBMX Collab bike, and sponsor Elite BMX Decals did the stickers. What a cool bike. So what's different about this one? Well, it is the prototype. So it was a working prototype. So the forks are not stamped or laser cut. They're just smooth. But I built this bike up to talk about the raised frames like that one. That's number 25, the last one off the assembly. And this one's still in raw, was number 4. And a bunch of you got them. We only made 25 of those. Maybe there'll be more later. But you're here for bikes. And like I alluded to earlier, like, oh, you don't have any other bikes. Dude, I only have so much room. And the white one's gonna be gone. I'm selling the Dino and the Mongoose on the end. I'm gonna be selling the Cook Brothers, but I got more bikes coming, like my 1990 Dino Detour. I had to think if it was a Detour or a comp. My 1990 Detour is coming. My Quad Angle is coming. Those are off at Powder right now. And my RADBMX and GT Collab Freestyle frame is also off at Powder right now. So 3 bikes that are out that are gonna be coming back, and then the one on the table that we've been talking about in this video, the Evolution bike. So a lot of bike builds coming. What am I gonna do with the Quad Angle? That's right, I'm gonna sell that as well. So man, I got 2 bikes on the website now, and at least 2 or 3 more bikes coming very soon to the website. When? I don't know. Just check the website. Please don't beat me up in messages like, what's for sale, what's for sale? Just go to the website. If it's on there, it's for sale, you can buy it. If it's not on there, you just can't buy it. Okay, I know we did a lot of talking, but again, there's a lot happening in the shop and it's just me. So I want to keep you updated. There you go. The GT Performer, the evolution of the Performer, that frame set at gt1972.com. Please go and look if you're at all interested. Craig does a lot of stuff there, but we really want your support to help make this documentary a reality. It takes a lot behind the scenes, like I said, and a lot of money to do that. So go get yourself one rad bike and help out this documentary, knowing that you were a part of it. You helped make it happen. It's happening. It's crushing to make something like that without your support. So I really appreciate every single one of you that watches these videos, because your support is amazing. If you don't have any money, you can't buy a bike, you can at least hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free, and that support also helps with this project. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate all of you, and as always, stay rad. Still here? Go home. It's nothing to see here.